you know how we were saying that basically women are saying that certain types of guys are corny, but I feel like there's another group of women who aren't getting the bad guys, and they're also overlooked because
Absolutely.
everyone's chasing the baddies, like the ones that the basketball dudes go after, you know,
Absolutely.
the ones that are getting all the attention and all of the things and being spoiled by all of the guys, you know. They're not getting the girl who's also the nerdy one with the high GPA that plays the violin and the cello and goes to ballet class and
Watches
you know,
anime.
like
Yeah,
you're chasing these exciting girls, expecting them to not want to continue the excitement, and they're getting pissed when they don't. You know what I mean? Like when they say it's not a good fit, or you know, you're not exciting, or you're not, you know, like you gotta think about the person you want to attract, right? And then even think about where would they go? They'd probably be out there playing tennis or something, you know, not in a club on a Tuesday on ladies getting in free.
absolutely. You're 100% right about that. I mean, listen, I'm a young man, and I don't disagree with anything that you just said. They're like, and look, men my age, men Marty's age, just men in general. There's just a specific like subset of women that most men just largely ignore. Like
And
that
that's the
woman.
exact type that y'all
Yeah,
are
yeah.
saying all these
I
other
know,
women need to
I know.
be.
That's what
So
I'm
it's
gonna
like,
say.
stop trying to turn these women into the women
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
and
One
get the
second,
women
one
that you
second, one
want and
second,
stay
one
over
second,
there.
one second, one second. There's a lot of women out here that will be this great wife to him, this great girlfriend, this great mother, but her lips not plumb enough. Her titties not big enough. Her ass not fat enough. Like so, there's a definitely a specific group of women that these men definitely ignore all the time. So I don't disagree with you on that at all. Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, so I actually do disagree with her on this,
Okay.
right? I think that this idea of the nerdy black girl that's just normal and this, that, and the other, I think this is how she sees herself, but not how men experience these women. And here's my proof for that, or here's the thing I want you to think about. How many black women do you talk to where you ask them where they would rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10 and they don't get themselves a 10?
I've never asked anybody that kind of question.
I know. It's more a question for like you guys in general. Noble, what's your experience when you talk to most, basic, damn near every single woman you talk to, no matter
Marty,
what she looks like, she says she's an 8 or 9 or a 10, correct?
Marty, listen, and you probably heard me say this before. T, you probably never heard me say this. Marty, according to all these women, listen, all of them got the best box in the world, right? All of them got the warmest, wettest, gushiest box. They all baddies. You know, they all put that shit on like. Yes, Marty.
Yeah,
you know what the answer is. That's my answer. Yes.
yeah.
Rarely
So
rarely do you ever,
I'm
especially
I
our
don't know.
woman,
I'm very
I
quick to tell you my shit's right.
especially our woman, you're not gonna hear her say like, no, I don't, I'm not
I'm
really,
average.
well, let
yeah,
me say this.
Yeah.
I
All
got
right.
Okay?
some people got on me about it because we were doing a rating and they were like, "What do you rate yourself?" And I was like, like a five or a six." And they were like, "What? You got a low self esteem? You are?" And I'm like, "No, because I don't feel like I'm a 10 because a 10 means perfection, right? And none of us are perfect. You know what I'm saying? I feel five is average. You know what I'm saying? Six may be a little bit above, but I'm not gonna sit. I don't put myself on this high pedestal because I feel like we all can evolve and we all can get better. And I'm forever seeking what it is that I can improve. I'll even talk to exes like, what was it, or what do you think? You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with trying to seek because I want to do better because I want to make sure whatever it is I need to fix, I can fix that shit. So that way I can make sure I align myself with the right person. And I'm not forever thinking that I'm the best thing that ever happened to somebody and I can't grow or evolve.
And that's that, and I thank you for saying that, T. And I want you to think about how common you hear women say, "I'm a 5." You don't hear it. So this group of women, of average girls that are being overlooked by the average black guy, This group of women exists conceptually, but they don't exist in reality. Because if you're a man and you're experiencing one of these women, they still tell you they an 8, 9, or a 10. And I'm going to tell you something about women as a group. They typically don't want to date down. They want something about you where you're either the thug sex goddess, or you are across or up the socioeconomic ladder. So women who think that they are sevens want to date men who are eights, nines, and tens. Women who think they are eights want to do the same. Women who think they are nines want to do the same. And guess what? Every woman on the planet, no matter what her waistline to hip ratio looks like, thinks she is fucking Megan Good in 1999. The fuck out of here. It's just
Well,
not true. So
I
because of
always want to
that,
be an asset to anybody I'm with. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ever feel like somebody had said to me the other day, well, the UT, anybody that get you, I'm like, I am a human. I'm a person. I am not bigger than the next person. I am not better than the next person. I hate when people be like, oh, you are this. Do they know who they got? Like, I don't feel like I'm better than anybody, any man, anybody. I just feel like we align ourselves with somebody that's for us. You don't have to be 10, 9, 10. You know what I just align yourself with the person that's right for you. I want to be an asset, not a liability.
yeah,
I want to be able to add to you.
yeah, there's no woman no matter how nerdy you describe her to be, Karma, there's no woman that's an even average looking woman that doesn't have men who are trying to holler at her, sweetheart.
Facts.
So this concept that there are women who are just being ignored, they're being ignored by the top 10% of men. They're being ignored by the top 15% of men, but they aren't being ignored by average guys. All of you are getting approached if you make yourself even slightly available. If you
Facts.
are posting pictures of yourself anywhere and going any place with any consistency, somebody is trying to get your attention. You just don't like your options. But to
Yeah.
pretend as if you're getting overlooked and there's nobody trying to holler at you, you are not on Mars, right? And you can't say women say often, oh, men will sleep with anything that moves. A man will put his dick in warm mud. Oh, men don't have no standards. Oh, men are dogs. Okay, so why if men have sex with anything, then why you think fives out here not getting talked to? You getting talked to, they getting talked to. You just don't like the men that's talking to you, and you're so used to ignoring
I'm a
men that
mute.
you are
That's
interested
right.
in that you take for granted that there are dudes that are trying to holler at you. So this imaginary group of clarinet playing, anime watching, down to earth chicks that's just being ignored that you talking about, they are conceptual, baby girl. That shit is like Santa Claus elves. It don't exist.
Facts.
Maybe it's where you're at, but like I do notice in different areas it is kind of different. Like in inner cities and stuff, yeah, everybody's getting hollered at by somebody. But a certain type will get hollered at much less, and therefore your chances are higher. But now
Yep. If
there's
you're a guy,
areas,
you get
there's more
hollered at
like
none.
rural and suburban areas where uh, it's really different. If you're, my complexion, it really depends on what I go outside looking like for the day. Depends on how my hair is styled, if it's straight,
I know, but you're
if
getting
it's a
talked to every
fro,
day, Karma.
or
Karma, you still getting talked to every day or every other day or a couple of times a week. If you're a man, you are not getting a DM ever in your entire life. Nobody is ever going to try to slide in your DM. No woman is
Hey,
going
yeah,
to
hey,
try
hey,
to.
I shoot
No,
my shot, Black Jesus, so
no,
that's
no.
not true.
If you're a man, the average guy is never the men that you're shooting at. There's 50 other women shooting at them too, and then there's 1,000 men that have never gotten a DM ever in their entire life.
He's
So
talking
when
about
I
the
don't
you
know.
scale.
say when
I
you
don't
say
know.
Karma, when you say,
hmm
what, if I go out looking like this, then men don't even try to talk to me, is you're not seeing your own privilege. If you're as a person to have potential suitors that are trying to talk to you even every week, to a man, that would be amazing. You would have to be a fucking movie star if you're a man to get that type of outcome. And for women to have that type of attraction in the dating market and to look at another woman as having 20 guys approach her in a week when she's only getting five, right? And to say, well, you know what? It's unfair. just shows how little awareness you have of the privilege of being a woman.
Can
No,
I
I
ask
mean,
you
like,
I want
you
to
have,
say, I want to speak to that as well. Like again, that's why I always say, for both men and women, we are talking about women right now. It is not men. It is not the dating market. There is a reason that, and I'm not talking about you specifically, Carl. I'm talking about this woman that's in this position. There is a reason that you are not getting. There is a reason that you're only getting two, three, four, five guys to, like, trying to talk to you, and you're not interested in those two, three, four, five guys. But it's not because men aren't don't want to talk to you. It's not because of the dating market. You as a woman need to look in the mirror and do some soul searching and do some improving, so you can better attract the caliber of men that you want. The same way, and the same goes for men as well. But Marty is 100% right. Obviously, T, he's not saying that, like, women don't be shooting a shot, or there's men that just don't be getting attention. But for the most part, it is night and day as far as, like, men getting attention from women and women getting attention from men. Especially nowadays, there's a lot of women that say they don't even believe in like pursuing a man. They might like a man, they might see him attractive, but they'll tell you, trust me, I know. They'll tell you, like, I'm not pursuing no man. Like, it's a man's place to, like, come after me. Like, I'm not gonna message a man. I'm not gonna walk up to a man. I'm not gonna text first. I'm not gonna call first. Like, all this type of goofy stuff. So,
So I got
like,
a
it's
question.
Marty is 100% right.
I got a question for Black Jesus. Okay, so being that we get more DMs, okay, what are we? So are we supposed to enter? So you're saying that we don't like our options, right?
Correct.
So how? Help me out, right? How do we assess this, right? Because you get a lot of men that's in your DM, and some you be
Right.
like, nah, I'm good. Some you're like, okay, maybe I message you back or I'll holler at you. Where does this? How do you think we should be assessing this? Because a lot of times the ones that we choose, maybe we didn't, it just
Yeah, I know
minutes,
the first point is that you have the option to choose. That's the
Mm-hmm.
first point.
Right.
And for men, they don't even have that. So I was going against the concept that Karma was like, well, this doesn't just happen to men. Women are being overlooked over too, but you guys are not. You just don't like your options.
I
Right.
think we're
That
looked
that
over
was my
once.
first point.
I
Now
think
my
what the lookover part is for me, like with us, well, my experience is, yeah, they choose us, right? But like you guys say, we don't want to choose. We don't want to say yes or no, right? But you guys
right.
are the one to decide, okay, I'm gonna lock it in, right? And I believe like a lot of guys, once that chase is done and they got you, it's like, okay, let me, what's that all about?
Yeah,
That goes
so
both ways though, T. Oh, one second,
Okay,
Marty.
yeah,
all
T,
right,
T,
that's a
let's like
okay.
let's T, T, let's not do
I'm
that.
asking for me.
T,
I'm
T,
asking
let,
for
I
T,
understand.
T,
That's
Can
T,
I
I,
T,
can I
let
get
T,
can I get
T,
some advice?
T, let's not do that. Like, bruh, like, yes, there are men that they are going to be really courting you. They're going to be the most chivalrous. They're going to be very communicative when they're on the pursuit of trying to get what it is that they want. And then when they finally get it, they do get comfortable. But like, women do the same thing the other way around. Whether they're pursuing a man or whether they have a man in the palm of their hands now, they stop like doing certain things too. And this is just life in general.
I
People,
know
like,
that,
men,
and I'm
men,
at. So
men and
I'm at.
women, men and women will get a certain job and start making a certain amount of money, and then now they're not really. Before, they were trying to get certifications, they were doing trainings and this, that, and third. It's just, my whole point is, people do get comfortable, but let's not act like it's just men that do that. Women do that too.
and not only that, T, I'm gonna tell you, like a man is allowed to get some poo from a woman and feel like it's stank and don't want to deal with her again. A man
Okay,
is
yeah,
allowed,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, a man is allowed to get with a woman and after kicking it with her for a little bit, decide that it's not worth it, or that he finds something out about the woman that he isn't willing to overlook and he breaks things off. And so just because he was chasing you and then he got you doesn't mean that now that he's got you and he's getting to know you, that everything he's going to get to know, he doesn't have any stand.
His phone must have
He
muted.
can't get rid of you, right? He can't drop you. But
I
what women will look at that as is they'll say, oh, well, the reason that he's being like this is because he got sex. And now that he got sex, he doesn't care about me anymore because all he was trying to do was use me for sex. Maybe he got a taste of that poo nanny and that shit smelled like a fish market. And he was like, you know what? I'm good on this.
okay.
Maybe right after he's,
So
maybe you finish after you smash, not you.
no,
I'm
yeah. So
directing
what?
none of this
So
at you.
that's so. What
See,
is that?
I'm sure your shit smell like
Right.
rodents,
So what
okay?
does
see,
But
that
I'm
mean
just
about the
saying,
lady in the video then? Because that's just like basically you're saying the same thing. Whereas you get to date
no, they
somebody and
got
you
to
get
an
to knowing
engagement,
somebody,
baby
and
hold
it's
on.
girl.
like, it's I don't like
No,
skin
Hold on.
color.
Marty, I want to say
they
something
got
real
to an
quick.
engagement,
I
baby.
want to
That's
say,
different. I'm
Marty,
talking
I want
about
to say
getting to know
something. I want to
somebody
say
and then
something to
cutting loose.
T and all the women in here. Okay, a man is within all of his right to sleep with you and not want to deal with you anymore. Okay, it's the same way. It's the same way. And listen, to ever look, you black women on this app love to say if it don't apply, let it fly. So what if what I'm about to say don't apply to you, let it fly. If it does apply to you, then I'm talking directly to you. A lot of you broke bitches like to go on dates with men that you know you have no intentions of being in a serious relationship with. You know that after this dinner he wants to take you out on, after this 2-3 hour experience that he wants to take you out on, you know you have no intentions of having any sort of a relationship with him. An intimate relationship, a friendship, a partnership, a business relationship, whatever it is that it may be. And y'all dub men, y'all use men, y'all take advantage of men all the time. So if a man sleeps with you and he doesn't want to have anything to do with you anymore, he is allowed to do that. Y'all have no problem seeing it. Y'all have no problem. Y'all don't question it when it's the other way around. But
I,
when a man does it, it's a problem. No, it's not a problem. If
let
a
me
man
tell
sleeps with you and he doesn't want to deal with you anymore, he is within all of his right to do that. And the reason don't matter. The same way the reason don't matter the other way around.
can I say something to you? You are right when it applies to those type of women. But when you meet a woman that don't mind paying for a meal, when you meet a woman that don't mind matching your energy, that is say, you know what, I'm gonna take you out today, or I will treat you. Every woman out here isn't made like that. You know what I'm saying? There are women out here that don't mind paying, taking you on a date, that don't mind spoiling you, that don't mind doing right by you. Me personally, I don't believe in using people. I do not believe in using a man. I don't believe that men are to have to do everything. I don't believe that. I don't it irks my spirit to feel like I'm using somebody. I always, even if somebody do something for me, I always feel like, what can I do back? Because I never want anybody to feel used. I never want anybody to feel like they wasted their time. Even if I go on a date with somebody and I don't like them, I'm still going to be nice to them and respectful to them, even if they weren't a fit for me. I may tell them, you know what, I'm not interested, but I'm not going to, just be a nasty person or just waste their time and let them take me on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dates, knowing that I have no intention on being with them. So for me, I don't feel a person has a right to do that to me because I wouldn't do it to a person. So I think that should not apply where you could tell me out here telling men, hey, you can do that. You can sleep with a woman and just because when you have good women out here, those women should be protected and not to be treated that way because then you'll have women out here just say, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and just use these niggas because these niggas don't value what I bring to the table. So you got to be careful when you say things like that.
Okay, okay. Look,
What?
look, look, no,
So
but
hold
T,
on.
T, T,
Let
one
me let.
second, Marty, really quick.
Okay.
T, I'm speaking for me. I am not saying or advising that like men should do that.
Okay.
But what I am saying is that whatever his reason may be, because there's going to be a reason at the end of the day. Same way there's whether it's a good reason or a bad reason, there is going to be a reason at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And T, the same way you just said like men shouldn't be telling other men to do that. I don't see I'll be
I
100%
do.
honest with you.
I tell
I've
them.
never I've never you just said like you operate the way that you operate. I
Mhm.
don't know if you've always been that way.
Always.
I'm a younger person, but T, I don't see a bunch of women in abundance. And Marty, you tell me if you see this. I don't see a bunch of women in abundance telling women that, hey, if you don't have any genuine intentions for this man, don't go out on a date with this man. Don't make this man spend money on you. Don't make this man exert his time on you. I don't see a bunch of women using their platforms, fixing their lips to advise other women, especially young women, to not do that.
Like Jesus.
I don't see women telling women deal with men that you're genuinely interested in. Stop trying to take advantage of men that you're not interested in. Do you see a lot of women doing that, Marty?
Like Jesus, do you see me
So,
doing that on my platform?
so I do see T doing that. I do see T holding women accountable. There are points T makes that I don't agree with, but
Right.
more that she makes that I do agree with. And I do see T stick up for men, and I have heard her say that commentary before. Now, do I believe that there's a growing space of women who are talking like that? Yes, Miss Kanai, right? Miss
Yep.
Met. There are women, it's a growing space. However, to Noble's point, is there more information being spread about women being fair to men and offering the same consideration that they're asking for, especially as it regards to this type of stuff? No, the vast majority of the content being created by women is about how to actually extract more resources,
I agree.
how to get more out of them, and how your expectations should be even more ridiculous, and how to manipulate and make sure that you're getting this and that so that you don't
Mm-hmm.
do this until that, blah, blah, blah. And that is the majority of the content. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the nature of what Noble is saying. So there are good women out there, right? We got one on the panel, right? There are good women that say great things and give great advice. But are they a majority? No, they're not. And that's why it's even more important that we recognize when they exist and uplift their voices so that we can encourage other women that when they are saying the right things, that they're going to have the protection and support of the men.
I feel like it's more how to get an SD content, and that's a mutual agreement, which you benefit a lot more from in the end.
You said
In
how to
every
get a what? You
dimension.
said how to get a what?
SD.
Sugar daddy. And
Oh,
she's
okay.
saying that men benefit more from that. So let me ask you a
Yeah,
question,
I mean,
Karma.
but
So
it's
you
not said that
support?
everyone's benefiting. It's mutually
Yeah,
beneficial.
you
It's
said it's mutual
consensual, and
benefit.
that's what, like they like the no strings attached part of it. Neither party wants a commitment.
All right. So
Um,
I have a question. I
mhm.
have a question here. Do you want to be married, Karma?
um,
No.
It's okay if it's no. You know.
it's like it depends on what direction these laws are going in because now they're talking about getting rid of no fault marriage. I mean, no fault divorces, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then
So yeah.
now we're having a thing where I want to get my tubes tied and I need a husband's consent, but I don't think he's going to be the one to consent to that. Um,
So
it
you
would be
already have a man you're thinking about?
yeah.
Oh wow. And you're not even sure you want to be married at all. What did you think about then? And I don't want us to fall too far down this rabbit hole. But when I said that a man would be a fool to marry a woman who
I think
doesn't care
really
about
out of
marriage.
the not in this country because of the laws that are going around with the policing of women in our bodies and stuff. And now they want to get rid of no fault marriages, meaning that there has to be hard proof of infidelity or physical,
Yeah. Yeah.
rumbling.
So the
So it's
concept
like,
so the concept that a woman could get out of a marriage without any obligation or proof, if she can't enter that agreement and leave it with no accountability, you wouldn't want to get married. But
oh no, like I'm cool with leaving with what I came into marriage with. I don't
no,
give
I
X
get
Y
all of that.
with
I get
that.
all of it. But the law
But
you're referencing, law you're referencing is essentially the right for a man or a woman to end a marriage without any reason whatsoever other than I don't want to do this anymore. Right?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And see, I'll tell you this. Check this out. So if you're a guy and you're looking, if you're a guy and you're looking to have a marriage, which is a long-term commitment with one person, where you guys are saving up enough money to try to cover the expense of your life from the ages of 65 to 85, that good 20 years, 25 if you're lucky, and you're trying to save millions of dollars or create ongoing income so that you can live and have a retired life. And that is a tremendous and very important enterprise that every man needs to be working on even before he meets his wife. You need to be saving for your retirement and your wife's retirement if you do plan on getting married one day. And this is something women don't think about. When a man is saving up that 401k, when he's getting those insurance policies, he's already got you in mind. Oh, I need this one so that it can't be irrevocable because I'm gonna need to add my wife's name to it when I get married one day. He's making plans for you before he meets you. So if you're that type of man, you have no business being with a woman who ain't sure about whether or not she wants to get married or doesn't want to get married unless she can end it for no reason whatsoever. And notice that most women,
not no reason whatsoever.
Women only want to marry.
I'm not like, if you're gonna say about what I'm saying, be correct about what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
I got it.
There would obviously be a reason.
Yeah, sure. I got it. But if there is no reason, you wouldn't want to enter an agreement where you couldn't just leave if there's no provable reason, right? If you can't even articulate why it is that you want to end the marriage, which is kind of the point of the video, and was the point of what I was saying, is that, fellas, when you deal with women who are on this flighty, emotional, spiritual, they're talking about birth signs, and if your Venus is ascending and your Cancer is in Nova Scotia, when you're dealing with this type of
if I'm trapped in a marriage that I don't want to be in, and the judge says, no, you gotta stay married, I'd rather unalive myself.
When you're dealing with this type of fracanacal, bird brain,
can we let T respond?
And you make a long-term marital commitment to this, you are courting your own demise. You need to deal with a woman who is taking her life seriously, can articulate her ideas, values marriage, values family, knows how she feels about these things, right? Has God in her life, grew up with the dad. If she didn't grow up with the dad, then she needs to have completed therapy. And if you're not dealing with that, then you are lining yourself up for the worst type of outcomes, because they need to be able to leave with no reason. Because these women aren't gonna marry dudes that ain't making shit. They want a no-fault divorce, but simultaneously they won't marry somebody who isn't doing as well as them. So then if they want to get out, then they aren't leaving with nothing. That's an important thing right there. They don't want to marry some guy that's beneath them, which I don't recommend they do. But then if you want to leave, you want to be able to leave with no reason, and then you still need your cut of whatever he was building before he met you, thinking you was his wife and y'all was gonna make it to the end of the road like the Boyz II Men song. But in the reality, you wouldn't have married him if you couldn't have just stepped out the shit with no provable reason or ability to articulate why. You have to be careful, fellas.
Can I ask Karma a question? Karma, I definitely understand being proactive instead of reactive, right? But when we are going into marriage, I don't understand why we're thinking divorce. You know what I'm saying?
Because divorce rates are so high that it is a possibility, and you have to think about what you're going to do. If that, plan for the worst and hope for the best. It doesn't make sense to not plan for the worst and hope for the best.
For other people's failure, so if we can plan by other people's failures, why can't we plan by other people's success?
No, like, we can plan for success. You can have all the plans. There's nothing wrong with planning. I love planning.
Another question. Now, you said about the tooth side, right? Having a baby, it takes two, correct?
Yeah, and I do not plan on being the one of the two.
Wait a minute. So, and I understand it's your body, your choice. I get that. But why do you think if you're even gonna marry somebody that he should not be able to add to that decision?
Well, we could put it in somebody else. I'm not carrying it. Get a surrogate.
Okay, but okay. Even if you don't want to get married, do you agree that when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's no longer I, it's a we, right?
Yeah, but we cannot split the carrying of the baby. That is a definitely, by default, I think.
Follow me. Just follow what I'm saying. When you're in a
Hmm.
relationship, it's not I, it's we, right?
Yeah.
So anything that happens that can affect you and I, that's a choice we should be able to sit down and have to get a conversation that we should be able to sit down and have together, correct?
Well, I have tumors in my uterus, so it's not a good idea for me to ever get pregnant in my life. And it is also, I have the genetic markers for certain things. It would not be smart to use my eggs to reproduce.
So you said earlier, I don't think he would want me to get my tubes tied.
Yeah.
So do you think that a person that you align yourself with, that during the dating process, that's a conversation that you two should have before you move to the next step of commitment, marriage, or any of that, so that you wouldn't have to get with a person that you don't think would approve of something that may risk your health?
Yeah. As someone said, but you had a child already. Yeah. They got hit by a bus. They are no longer with us. Um, so I don't think this is going to work out because he's not taking into the account of like he's not taking into account of what could possibly happen to me because of or into account what my genetic markers mean. So it's like
So you guys, how long have you guys been together, if you don't mind me asking?
about a year and a half.
So in a year and a half, when did you guys first have the conversation?
Oh, a couple weeks ago. So
You see there? How long did you know about
well,
all of this?
like we did have the conversation earlier and we were both in agreement that we don't want kids, but now he's changed his mind.
Okay, okay.
Like people change their minds on things all the time. How you feel about
So
it then is not going to be how you feel about it later. Like
absolutely.
he's getting older. His swimmers don't have as much mobility anymore. His factory is old and it's not, working this, he got an old little factory. So his biological clock is
I was just asking because I think that when you're connecting yourself with somebody, whether you're married or not, is still a decision that I think, even though, like you say, even though we carry the baby for 9 months, and I think this is where we get it messed up as women, that 9 month of entitlement, like, okay, it's my body for these 9 months or whatever. But that's a certain, they're not helping us carry the baby, but when that baby comes into the world, right? You're not saying, well, it was my body and I carried it, so you shouldn't have to take care of it. You get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, it's ours. But when we're carrying it, it's like, well, it's mine because I'm carrying it. And I think that mindset needs to change. I get that it's your body. So I think that
yeah.
before this is the conversation y'all have and maybe the steps that you need to make. But I still
That's
think
why
that the
I say
mindset that you
surrogate, cool with a
need.
surrogate, get a surrogate.
Okay. Okay. I
You
just
know what
wanted
I
to
mean?
know.
I feel like that's a fair trade-off. You still
Yeah.
get your baby and then I don't have to use my body.
Run.
I'm a mute.
Like it's not an enjoyable thing to do throwing up every day. Your teeth can fall out. The nails are so sharp that they can claw you from the inside and then you just hemorrhage you know, and there's no really way to stop that because they have to pinpoint exactly where you're hemorrhaging from. There's so many things that can happen after, and then so many permanent changes to your body.
So,
So, like,
so you
so
say that.
it's a
Not
long
every
term.
woman, not every woman wants to bear a child. I can respect that.
Right,
I
but
Like
can
why do you
respect
it's
have
if
to
you
not
don't
a
wait
want
till
to
you
have a
pleasant
get
child.
thing, and
married?
it's not a
If your
cakewalk.
man
And
does,
like it's. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, and I wish a lot of things on people.
yeah,
So
I get
let me
all
ask
that. I just think that so I don't begrudge you for not wanting a child, but there's things. So one of the things you'll see men who are older and they date down, right? And the circle of people that I move around, the vast majority of us are dudes that are reasonably successful, and because of that, we're more often dating down. The girls are younger that we're dating, and one of the things when I have guys who talk to me and ask for advice is I say, hey man, you got this girl, she's 27 years old, you're 40, right? You have to
Say
be
that last
cognizant
thing
of the
again.
fact. you have to be cognizant of the fact that she may want children. And if she wants children and you're not willing to give her a child, then you shouldn't be wasting her time. If she wants to have a family and you don't want one, then you shouldn't be wasting her time, bro. If you're past the point in your life where you're willing to have kids, and this is a woman that's going to want to be a mother, even if everything else is a good fit, you shouldn't be wasting her time. I say the same thing to women. You have every right to not want to have a child. That is your body. You don't have to have a child if you do not want to. But if you are with a man and it is important for him to have lineage, and he wants to have a child, and it's important to him to have that child with his wife, right? Then
But he
you
changed.
go
People
ahead and
changed
deal
their
with
minds.
somebody
He
else.
told me that he didn't want it.
I get it. He's allowed to change his mind, just like you are.
So
So,
it's like I
but
think people
you,
stick around in hopes that the person is going to change their mind because you never know. People change.
so
I know he would be a fool to do that.
can I ask this question? Because I'm a little confused, right? You
Yeah,
said that the part of the not wanting to be married is because, like, even the tubes getting tied, you would have to get that approval from your husband, correct?
yeah,
Now, you've known of these health issues before you even got in a relationship with the guy, correct?
no,
So, when did you find of those health issues? Because you said that you talked about it when you first met
yeah.
him.
Well, I would say, like I was having some symptoms for a really long time, and they just never looked inside of me. And I changed doctors, and I spoke to other women, and they're like, "Oh no, you need to get this checked." So that was in the beginning. We spoke about it, and we said that we don't want children. We had that
Mhm.
conversation. I'm like, I don't want kids. You don't want kids. So before, you know, my health issues popped up, we already had we had the understanding that we both don't want children.
Right. So, when the health issues popped up and you knew that you wanted to get your tubes tied, why do you have to wait to get married to make that decision?
Oh, because that's what the doctors say. They won't tie
But
my
you're not
tubes
married
without.
now. That's what I'm saying. If that's a decision that you already know is a health issue,
Yeah,
why
but
isn't that
it's
something that you're
it's a
making to do?
requirement for the doctor's office. I need
I
a
get
husband.
that, but you're
Yeah.
not married right now.
hmm
You don't need a husband to get your tubes tied.
That's what they said that they can't do it without that.
You might want to go to another doctor. That's not true.
hmm
And
That's not true.
we skipped over something, Karma.
hmm
We skipped over something. You said that
Okay.
you had a child, and that
Yeah.
child passed away in an accident.
No, they said the dad did.
Oh, the dad did. So you didn't
Yeah.
have a child, but the guy you were going to marry
Yeah, we were
passed
already
on.
married.
I'm sorry, what you say?
I said we were already married, like right after high school.
Okay, all right. Well, I just because we went past that really quick, and I'm not trying to make this personal or anything, but I
hmm
just that's a big loss, and I didn't want to just skip over that like you aren't a human being that didn't just share something that was incredibly personal and probably very painful.
Well,
So
I did ask you earlier, were you a mother? And you said
Yeah,
yes.
and I said yeah.
So how old is your child?
11.
So you do have a child,
Yeah,
11-year-old child.
yeah,
So how old are you if you don't mind me asking?
28.
So yes, you can get your tubes tied.